Hi, welcome to Drive By History, and today we're shooting from on board the Becky Thatcher, which is a riverboat on the Mississippi. So I thought I'd give you a cruise by history of riverboat travel in America. Missouri history, and really all of American history, is largely tied to riverboat travel in the first part of the 19th century, and the Mississippi River was at the center of that. St. Louis is just south of a large area of rocks called the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which made it a convenient place for the largest of ships to stop because they couldn't go any further. And that ended up by the 1830s making St. Louis the largest city west of Pittsburgh and the second largest port next to New York City. Riverboats in the 19th century were usually made of wood and steam-powered and ranged from about 40 feet to 300 feet long. And some of them, just like this one, had multiple decks, 2 decks. And that top deck, because of the height off of the water, often had a very powerful and strong wind. And so it caused some people to call it the hurricane deck. Other people called it the Texas deck because the captain's quarters were usually the biggest quarters on board, and they were always found up on the top deck because of the view. So they called it the Texas deck because they had just figured out how to build this around the same time that Texas had been allowed into the Union as the biggest state. There's so much that happened on board riverboats that we can't even scratch the surface of it, from fine dances and dinners and gambling and races and murders, and even Civil War battles happened aboard riverboats in the 19th century. And we'll never even be able to scratch the surface, but if you want to get an idea of just how much happened on riverboats, read some Mark Twain novels, or learn about Cornelius Vanderbilt, who single-handedly lowered the price of riverboat travel and broke up a monopoly by running his ferry service illegally over in the east. Riverboat travel is largely a thing of the past. You can, like we're doing, you can go on short riverboat cruises. Some places you can go on longer inland cruises, like in Europe, and that sounds like fun. I'd love to do that someday. But today we got to get a little bit of a taste of that. So I think that gives you a pretty good idea